There's a calling that's been placed on your soul. Can you feel it? Can you see what you're supposed to do next? You were born with everything you need to answer the calling. That calling may not be only one thing, it may include a lifetime of dreams, desires, creative endeavors, and hardcore goals that are living there in your heart. Would you know where to begin to answer this calling? Would you know the first steps? If you're looking for clarity on how to navigate your soul's path, then today's episode is for you. What do you do when your dreams feel unreachable, your reality feels close to unbearable, and no matter how hard you work to shake things up, no matter how much time and effort you put into changing your life, you still feel deeply, painfully, and hopelessly stuck? What you need is alchemy. What is alchemy? Well, it's a process that changes or transforms something in a magical way. You can discover how to create this very practical form of magic in your own life, shifting your energy in a way that dissolves the obstacles in your path to literally bring success to you. My name is Remy, like Do Re Mi, and I'm a best-selling author. Knowing how to unlock this hidden power, how to take back your resilience so you can just move forward, is the battle cry of anyone who's been through one of life's crushing setbacks. Luckily, unlocking your hidden power is easier than it might seem. I have something that I think you'll enjoy, and you can get started with this very practical form of magic right here, right now. Simply click below. Okay, let me jump off the screen here so I can see my laptop. Today, we are talking about navigating your soul's path because there's a calling that's been placed on your soul, a success that you've come here to experience, a difference you've wanted to make. Whether it's cleaning up karma, ascending to a new level, or making some kind of impact to influence and change the world, have you reached the success you've come here for? Are you even getting a foothold? Or are you seeing much more than you've ever imagined possible? Well, if you aren't getting the success you want in full abundance, however you identify with success, and if you're wanting to tap into a greater knowingness and align with higher thought frequencies instead of the lower ego thinking that beats us up so that you can attract the success you're craving, then this episode is for you. Maybe it's time to open up to your hidden power and create something unimaginable, something totally unreasonable, something that maybe even seems impossible, to kick your whole life and all your success into high gear for whatever success means for you. And today, I'm going to try and get you one step closer. As business owners, change makers, thought leaders, innovators, disruptors, or even if we haven't found the right fit in the world yet, whether we're talking about our relationships at home or at work, or when we're talking about our finances, sometimes we find that we're moving away from success. So, how do we overcome this? How can we find the clarity and courage we need to believe in ourselves and our own strengths so that we can unlock our hidden power? Well, it's time to be unabashedly, unapologetically, happily untethered to the ego thinking that gets in our way. It's time to align with our soul's path instead. Today's episode is for you if you wonder, how can I figure out what I really want? What exactly is the one truth we're supposed to express? And of course, how can I navigate my soul's plan? Yes, these episodes are about how to find your hidden power when you want to transform challenges into successes. I like to call it the audacity of alchemy. Because when you're feeling stuck, it's never the situation that has you stuck. It's your energy that's become stuck in anxiety, overwhelm, doubts, worries, frustrations, and indecision. And often, this is because of a spiritual injury that we've experienced, some kind of hidden trauma. So it isn't the pain of the situation, it's the pain of not being connected in the natural energy of who you really are, of being connected to that magical part of you that's a creative vibrational being who can use positive energies to create what you want and bring it into physical manifestation. Part of this process is to allow your manifestations to materialize and not get stuck in the negative vibrations that block them. These positive energies that we talk about so much are where we find the magic of alchemy. And using your hidden power means using these positive energies to effect transformation. Because, well, if you're like me, then you're someone who has the audacity, the willingness to take bold risks and transform challenges into success. So let's talk about this idea of transformation and the audacity of alchemy, because your choice of frequency, your choice of those higher energy thought patterns can change the course of your life. So there's a calling that's been placed on your soul. Can you feel it? Can you see what you're supposed to do next? We were born with everything we need to answer the calling, and that calling may not be only one thing. It may include a lifetime of dreams, desires, creative endeavors, and hardcore goals that are living there in our hearts. Would you know where to begin to answer this calling? Would you know the first steps? Deciding what you want is the first step to getting it. And what comes before that decision? Clarity about what you want. But sometimes we're so caught up in life that we can't hear the calling. Or sometimes we know the calling is there, but our ego thinking is screaming so loudly at us, frustrated with things that are going wrong, pulling on us to solve the problems in front of us, making demands of our time and attention. I even had someone tell me, I don't have time to think about my life's purpose. I'm too busy trying to make ends meet. Sound familiar? Whenever I work with individual clients, my first question is always, what's your objective? What do you want? And you might be surprised how many people can't even answer that question. I just hear, well, it's no wonder their experience has become wishy-washy. How many of us are absolutely crystal clear about what we're wanting to create? You know, I've shown you this formula before that I call crystallize and materialize. We're not going to dive deep into it right now, but I just want to point out here that step number one is to get crystal clear about exactly what you want, because without clarity, the universe receives a confused vibration and may send you exactly what you don't want. This clarity that we're looking for is our inner truth with a capital T. It's the one thing we're here for. And I'm giving you an exercise on how to get to the bottom of this one thing, because not knowing it is such an obstacle. It can really get in the way of our success. But before we go there, I just want to slip in this little reminder. If you already know that you're ready to dissolve these obstacles that are on your path to success, if you already know that you're ready to be a creator, then you might be ready for this amazing new tool to get you moving into some better patterns and frequencies where success can find its way to you. It's called the Alchemy Matrix, and it's going to help you call back in your destiny. It's an interactive roadmap designed to help you solve problems, dissolve barriers, heal spiritual injuries, and bring in a lot of clarity so that you can create a future that you'd like to see. Just wanted to slip in this brief reminder that you can sign up to learn more about the Alchemy Matrix at successcircleworkshops.com. And I promise to tell you more about that here in just a minute. So this clarity that we're looking for is our inner truth with a capital T. It's the one thing that we're here for. And I'm going to give you an exercise on how to get to the bottom of this one thing. And we'll get to that exercise here in just a minute. Because ignoring our truth doesn't make it go away. It only activates our ego thinking, which is so full of frustrations and doubts and confusion and dysfunction. But when we have clarity about our one truth, it calls in a power, sort of a divine power. I mean, that's how big it is. It gives us our North Star, it gives us direction. It tells us what our next steps are. When we haven't identified our inner truth, the one thing that we're here for, we can experience so many issues. We feel lost, not knowing where we should be or not knowing which direction to take. Where do we belong? We feel like we're wearing blacked out glasses without a clear entry point or the stepping stones for action. We struggle with a mental war that we want to put in the background. Or when we're not fighting inside our head, we might go straight into grief because things just seem out of reach and we want to give up. We're frustrated because we aren't able to use our own unique strengths to get out of our challenge and into this life purpose that's supposed to put rainbows in our sky and butterflies in our path. We teeter on the edge of burnout. We're exhausted and annoyed and just want to run away and never look back. It's not that we aren't willing to work hard, but when we haven't identified the one thing that we're here for, our one truth, our big reason, when we don't know how to navigate our soul's desires and our soul's path, it just takes everything out of us. Did you ever see the movie Close Encounters? Boy, I'm going to take you back a few years. But a client told me this just today. She said, remember Richard Dreyfuss? He was at his dining room table in this movie trying to carve this mountain out of a pile of mashed potatoes. And he'd shout, this isn't right. And then he'd scream at the heavens right out of his window, what is it? Well, it's like that. When we don't know how to navigate our soul's path, when we don't know the one truth that we're here to express, it's like that mound of mashed potatoes that it just doesn't look right. And I don't know about you, but I never took a clarity class in my younger developmental years to try and identify my life purpose. Did you? Our educational system is definitely lacking in that arena. Oh, we have the opportunity to get exposure to a variety of things. For instance, overachiever that I am, I'd earned every single Girl Scout badge available. And maybe that helps some people tune into their passions. I had badges in painting and fair play and bugs and camping. And I even knew how to be a salesman when cookie season rolled around. But it didn't help me figure out my inner truth, the one truth that would guide me and everything I would do in my life. And by the way, trivia, did you even know that the youngest Girl Scouts can now get badges in space science exploration, roller coaster design, cybersecurity? Man, the world has changed from the day of sitting around at a craft table and making dream catchers like I did when I was a kid. So anyway, most of us have very little guidance or wisdom on how to figure out what we really want in life. And I think you might agree. Or we don't get the guidance or wisdom on what we came here to do while we're here on earth, or how to get back on track when we've lost our way. Where is the instruction manual? Even the vision board workshops that we see come around at the beginning of each year don't really peel back the layers enough to get at the core of what we really want. So what can we do moving forward? How can we figure out what we really want? How can we figure out how to navigate our soul's path, or how to figure or find the one truth that we're supposed to express? What are our most exciting dreams and goals? Well, if you already know your answer, that's great. Is there a next step on your journey? Now, if you're drawing a blank when I ask that question, or you're afraid to admit what you really want, then you may be in a big, beautiful pool of so many who are wishing to awaken to their journey, who wish they knew how to navigate their soul's path. This work can be tough. I got to tell you, I've often said that I feel like I'm living inside a pinball machine, my head being that little silver ball that's banging around. But the more difficult this is, the more we need it. That's what makes us seekers. The more clarity we have, the better chance we have of being able to navigate our soul's path. So at this stage, what we really need is a stepping stone, or maybe we want to know the destination, something profound and meaningful that challenges us in one baby step or even in one giant step. We just want a clear mark because we can't hit a target if we can't see it. Or if you're like me, and I'm Sagittarian, I'll throw 1,000 arrows out there and just know that something will hit. It used to drive my mom crazy. You archers, she'd say, you just throw arrows out there and you know something's going to hit. The point is, we do need a target to aim for. So how do we begin to find the one thing, this core concept, so that we can navigate our soul's path? Well, I do want to mention that we could do this together one-on-one. If you go to instantbreakthroughsession.com, instantbreakthroughsession.com. But for today, let's see what we can get done right here and right now. And then if you'd like to go deeper one-on-one, just know that that's also available. So this one thing is your core message, that one thing about you that when you understand it, everything else you do makes sense. So for an example, here's my core message. It's never the situation that has you stuck. Never. You hear me say this on every single podcast episode. It's never the situation that has you stuck. And if I wanted to expand on this one thing, this one statement, I would say it's your energy that's become stuck by the trigger of negative emotions like doubts, worries, frustration, indecision that comes from life's challenges, especially around spiritual injury. But I would say you can dissolve the obstacles in your path with a simple shift in energy. You can get out of doubt and move on with your life because your choice of frequency changes the course of your journey. So don't get stuck in these negative vibrations that are blocking your success. Positive energies are where we find the magic of alchemy. And using our hidden power means using these positive energies to effect transformation. So that's my example of my one thing, my inner truth, my one truth. Here's the simple statement I've got for you here on the screen, and then just a bit of an explanation, right? Now, it took me a long time to get this much clarity, a long time. But often, your one thing, your one truth, your core message is expressed in one simple sentence. Now, one way that you can begin to craft your sentence is to use a 3-step formula. So let's take a look at that. And here comes step number 1. Step number 1, I dream of being. And what I'd like you to do here is brainstorm 20 adjectives that describe your best qualities. I dream of being. 20 adjectives that describe your very best qualities. Are you resilient, extraordinary, kind, expressive, creative, courageous, intuitive, right? I'd like you to write down 20 adjectives that describe your best qualities. And then once you've done that, once you've got your 20, I'd like you to circle 4 or 5 of those qualities that really speak to you the most. Write down 20 and then circle 4 or 5 that really speak to you the most. Okay, here comes the next step. And this is step number 2. I dream of doing, and then fill in the blank. And I'm giving you some things to start with on the screen here. CEO, if you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're a champion. I know for me, I love to dance. Maybe you consider yourself a warrior fighting for how things should be, or maybe you're more in the flow, or you want to practice being in the flow, right? So what I'd like you to do is just fill in the blank. I dream of doing the following activities. Now, the question we just did a minute ago, describing your adjectives, that's more of a beingness. Right now, we're talking about a doingness. I dream of doing these activities, being a teacher or being a student, being the motivator, the one that's the rah-rah person that gets everybody excited or inspired. So circle some of these or write down your top 5. You can make up something of your own. This is just to get you started. And then once you get your top 4 or 5, I'd like you to put those in priority order. What's most important to you, put the most important at the top, and then put your top 4 or 5 here in priority order, just to kind of get a sense of your doingness and what you like to do. And then once you've done that, here comes that 3rd step. Fill in the blank. In a perfect world, everyone is. And then describe the quality of life that you'd like to see. How would you like to see everyone experience the world? How would you like to see everyone around you experiencing this world? Maybe they'd be able to play to their own strengths. Maybe they would be cooperating and collaborating with one another. Maybe they would be raising healthy children to become leaders, right? So in a perfect world, everyone around you is, and then just describe the quality of life that you would love everyone to experience. So that's your 3-step formula. And I'll put these 3 steps back up on the screen again. So step number 1, I dream of being. And these are the 20 adjectives that describe your best qualities. This is your beingness. Who are you? And then step number 2, I dream of doing the following activities. And what you'll do is choose 5 activities that you dream of doingness. This is your doingness, things you dream of doing. These are the actions that you'd like to take. And then the 3rd step, in a perfect world, everyone is, and you would describe the quality of life that you'd like everyone to experience while they're here on Earth. Now, let's put it all together. Let's bring this together. And here is your statement. My soul's path is to use my blank to blank so that in a perfect world around me, everyone is blank. So these 3 steps that we just did, this is where you begin to fill it in. And that's why I said choose your top 5. So you can fill it in, you can mix and match until you get this statement that really reflects who you are, your one thing, your inner truth, your one truth, however you'd like to describe it. So here's an example on the screen for you. My soul's path is to use my inspiration to teach others to live their own life purpose so that the world becomes a place of peace and harmony. And you can see how I kind of filled in those blanks there with an example. See how that works? My soul's path is to use my blank, my inspiration, to blank, to teach others to live their own life purpose so that in a perfect world, everyone around me is blank in peace and harmony. Okay, that gives you an example that you can work with. So here's what's exciting about this process. It's a starting point. It's only version 1.0. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine has morphed over the last 10 or 20 years as I evolved, as my own work evolved, and as I was able to gain more and more clarity. So this is just a starting point. In fact, you might even want to visit this every 6 months or maybe even once a year. Once you clarify and commit to your soul's path, not with frustration or doubts, but with curiosity and resilience and wonder, mysterious universal forces begin to stir. The energies that can support us begin to wake up. Or maybe it's more accurate to say that we begin to wake up to these cosmic forces that are around us and always have been around us. These are powerful, miraculous forces that are both mysterious and scientific in nature. Authors and influencers throughout time have talked about these forces. Philosophers from Mark Twain to one of my favorites, Wallace Wattles, who wrote The Science of Getting Rich. Until we commit to our journey, our soul's path, to our own spiritual growth, we have hesitancy, doubt, and we have the chance to pull back. We may swim in confusion, make excuses, and become buried. And I don't know how. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. We flat out become ineffective. But there's one elementary truth in all this. The moment that we know what we want to create, these miraculous influences move in. So here's the thing. We don't really have to know exactly, specifically what we want in ink. I mean, this is a starting point. What's most important to know is because our choice of frequency, our choice of high vibrational thoughts can change the course of our journey. That's really what we need to know as we do this exploratory process. We just want to keep our thoughts in a good place. Just by being in thoughts of harmony and flow, just having these thoughts of resilience and curiosity, when we use these positive energies, that's our hidden power. We're using the magic of alchemy. And when we do that, Providence has just enough opening to begin to course correct our direction. And so this is simply a lesson to always be in flow, to always be open to possibilities and outcomes even greater than we can imagine. We live in a highly intelligent and responsive universe. Whether we're aware of this process or not, we're co-creating our reality with our thoughts, our words, our behaviors. I've said it before, thoughts create reality. It's an exact science, and failure is impossible. So even if those moments where we don't have crystal clarity, simply aligning with the energy of clarity will begin to call it in. One of the main reasons why so many of us don't get what we want is because we're afraid to ask for it. We wonder if we have what it takes. We wonder if we can handle our own bigness. We wonder if we'll be a disappointment. But here's a truth that so often gets missed. There's a calling that's been placed on your soul. We already have what it takes to navigate our soul's path. We were born with everything we need to answer the calling. So I'm hoping today's exercise is a productive first step for you because you have these dreams and desires that are living there in your heart. And remember to navigate our soul's path. And that's really all it's required is a shift in frequency because our choice of frequency, our choice of thoughts can change the course of our journey. So how can you apply what you've learned today? Can you see the benefit of knowing your one thing that's your core message, that one thing about you, that one truth, that when you understand it, everything else that you do makes sense. This becomes your guiding light for everything you get involved with, everything you do, and everything you want to clear off your plate because it's no longer a match. It'll help you solve challenges because, let's face it, any situation that isn't a match for your soul's path, well, it needs to go away anyway. Well, I hope this helps you as you're using the powers of alchemy to transform challenges and obstacles into positive new successes. But if you still can't get your head around what's got you stuck, you can tell me about it. You can send me a question to questions@unlockyourhiddenpower.com. Questions@unlockyourhiddenpower.com. Or if you're someone who has the audacity, the willingness to take bold risks, to transform challenges into success, you can find out more about our events at successcircleworkshops.com. This is where you can learn more about the audacity of alchemy and how to unlock your hidden power. You'll get a personalized interactive roadmap that's custom designed to get you unstuck by unlocking your hidden power to create big, magical changes. Alchemy. You'll learn to solve problems, dissolve barriers, and bring success to you. So don't wait. Go to successcircleworkshops.com and get your personalized alchemy matrix package right now. And here's what you'll get: a full color workbook filled with hands-on exercises to inspire your creative energies, membership in your very own success circle for high-level masterminding and networking, your very own customized alchemy matrix to unlock your hidden power and bring success to you, and your very own personal unstuckologist. Remember, the Alchemy Matrix is the only tool of its kind, and it's only available here. So if you're ready to approach your life's challenges with audacity, if you're ready to finally banish frustration, indecision, and the negative spiral, if you're ready to watch success materialize right before your eyes, then go to successcircleworkshops.com and get your personalized Alchemy Matrix package now and watch the magic start to happen. Thanks for joining me today, and I'm wishing you a life filled with all the alchemy you need to bring success to you. Feel free to share this video with anyone you know who's feeling stuck, and I look forward to seeing you in one of our upcoming success circles. You can find out more at successcircleworkshops.com.